Hey guys! As college students, one of the big factors in our life include our social life and how we interact with others. As young adults navigating through adulthood and this unlimited set of freedom of not having someone in your ear nagging when to go to sleep, what time to be home, and having the opportunity to explore new experiences and even your deepest desires. Part of meeting and socializing with others include our love life and participating in the hookup culture, a social norm that has been catering to young adults for centuries. This societal norm caters to the young generation due to the collegiate years celebrating this time in life to be wild, drink excessively, and allow themselves to experiment sexually with as many people as possible. By conforming to this lifestyle, it offers social status and acceptance to give students a temporary boost in self-esteem. It is often advertised as a fun way to explore different relations at the same time without any form of judgment. The hookup culture. The hookup culture is a societal norm that is often defined as a culture that incorporates hooking up without any commitment and short-term sexual acts between two individuals who are not involved in a long-term relationship with one another. At first glance, this sounds like the perfect idea with no strings attached and the idea of testing the waters, but as progressive as it may appear, this social norm causes more harm than good. There are many ways in which people meet to partake in this social norm. Parties are one of the more organic ways to meet a potential match in an atmosphere that pushes people to socialize and partake in activities like dancing and even drinking. In fact, a psychologist took a survey with multiple students that attended these parties if they were happy, which resulted in 10% answered affirmative, 29% reported that some peers appeared happy, others unhappy and dissatisfied, 33% perceived that parties were momentarily happy with drinking and hooking up. Happy until the next morning where they experience regret, embarrassment, anxiety, depression, loneliness, and or emptiness. Just like these parties, the hookup culture provides a sense of momentarily happiness where in act it may fulfill your desires, but the aftermath of not being able to connect on a deeper level or being forced to leave at 3 a.m. feeling used and inevitable for some. Another common way of meeting people is on dating apps. Dating apps are mobile applications designed to help people find romantic relationships. They're designed to be user-friendly and accessible. User created a profile with pictures and a brief descriptions of themselves. They can then browse through other users' profiles, swipe left or right to indicate whether they are interested in that person. The anonymity of the internet and the convenience of swiping left or right has made it easier for people to engage in casual sex. This has led to the rise in the hookup culture. Yet there are apps like Chispa that cater to a certain demographic, yet by doing so they can attract individuals with ill intentions. There is a fine line between preference and fetishization. Fetishization is defined as the act to reducing an individual to their race or ethnicity and objectifying them based on their identity. It is often involves treating individuals as exotic or desirable solely because of their race and can be rooted in a harmful stereotype or powerful dynamic. Racial fetishization can be harmful not only in the hookup culture because it reduces individuals to a single aspect of their identity and can objectify individuals as sexual objects rather than people. The hookup culture also pushes unhealthy narratives in the LGBTQIA+ community. Heterosexual women can often partake in same-sex sexual activities for the pleasure of male views and are often misled their partners. The idea of partaking in same-sex activities is only encouraged when it is socially acceptable and is structured around men's heterosexual desires, yet the thought of men partaking in these same-sex behaviors receives a negative response and feeds into homophobic ideals, suppressing somebody's identity. Here I'm going to provide a short clip that explains a little bit more on what it actually does.
Girls that say like, oh, I'm just kissing my friends, like, no, just think about it a little bit. It's more than just that. You're allowing women to just be like kind of sexualized because like you're doing it because you know that other guys think it's hot.
I want to say something about that. Girls that make out with other girls for male validation and attention, that's queer baiting.
It is queer baiting. And I am saying this as someone who used to kiss girls for fun. I used to be that person that did it and thought that there was never an issue with it. Now I do see an issue because it rubs me the wrong way.
Are you saying that like to you kind of feel like disrespected?
Not like disrespected, but it's like for the longest time, like women that actually loved each other couldn't kiss each other in public. And now it's just like this like overt display of like, haha, like guys think it's so hot.
But like some girls just don't do it for like male attention.
I know, but it's like you need to be more conscious of it because guys think it's hot.
You know, Christine, like sometimes we say like guys should be more affectionate with each other. Like I don't think it's weird if like you guys kiss each other on the cheek.
I've
Like
never kissed this man in my life.
I've kissed you.
I've seen
There's a video
like
out
some
there
of my
that-
guy friends like kiss each other on the cheek, and I always thought it was cute.
Yeah, but they're kissing on the cheek. But like, have you seen guys like kiss on the mouth as friends the way girls do?
We've all kissed each other on the mouth.
The way girls do?
Not like the way
Okay,
girls
not
do,
no,
though,
not like
bro.
not like how girls do.
There's a huge gray area. There's a super fine line. I've seen some girls full on tongue down each other's throats and they're straight and their boyfriends are watching them. That type of shit, isn't that going over that thin line? So that's what I'm saying, is that's when it's like queer baiting. That's when it rubs me the wrong way. It makes me uncomfortable because I'm like, why are you doing that here? I feel like everyone can tell when someone's doing it for
Like,
attention.
they're all sloppy,
Most
hidden
definitely.
people.
They're exactly.
Yeah.
You know exactly the type of people I'm talking about, and that's the type of people that I have the problem with.
Regardless of sexual orientation, many individuals continue to push heteronormative labels to discourage individuals, not only cisgendered heterosexual women, but individuals who do not identify as heterosexual men to partake in the hookup culture. In fact, in many men's friendship that idealize hypermasculinity, congratulate individuals who identify as men participating in the hookup culture, whereas women's interactions with other women in the hookup culture are fixated on traditional gender beliefs, not only shape how men and women interact, but also impact how women perceive and judge the behavior of other women. As much damage as the hookup culture causes, it can also empower individuals that often play submissive roles. During the colonial era, young adults were forced to choose their life partners purely as a transaction to procure, consolidate, and retain power and wealth for their families, and never take their own desires under consideration. The hookup culture allows individuals who did not have the opportunity to choose their forever person to have unlimited options and test out different kinds of relationships. This societal norm leaves room for sexual experimentation without any judgment, pressure, or stress of a serious relationship. Understand that the hookup culture creates a sense of empowerment for individuals and allows you to focus on your career goals and not focus your energy to devote to a serious relationship. Yet the hookup culture can be harmful because it can lead to feeling of loneliness, isolation, and low self-esteem. It can also create a culture where people are objectified and treated as disposable if one's intentions are not voiced. I'm not saying you cannot participate, but proceed with your own caution. Choosing to participate in the hookup culture not only requires consent, but also a healthy mindset. As an individual who is codependent, you should not participate because you become so consumed in something that cannot even be defined as a relationship. You begin to construct insecurities you didn't even have to begin with just to please the other person and find an explanation why they can be intimate with you physically, yet not on a deeper level. Yes, being physically intimate is a big part of many relationships, yet the hookup culture makes it a sole priority, creating very unhealthy mindsets and expectations of what a relationship should consist of and should be based on. If you choose to partake in the hookup culture, you should always use protection to prevent the spread of sexually transmitted infections and unintended pregnancy. Avoid hooking up with people who pressure you or make you feel uncomfortable. Be mindful of alcohol and drug use, as these substances can impair your judgment and increase your risk of making unsafe choices. Take care of your mental health by seeking support from friends, family, or a mental health professional if needed. Remember that you have the right to change your mind at any time and that you don't owe anything to anyone. Ultimately, the most important thing is listening to your instincts and prioritizing your own well-being. If something doesn't feel right to you, it's okay to say no and walk away. Yet as a society, we can aid in the hookup culture to take a better turn, to not cut its wings, but to do it in a healthy way. There are nonprofit organizations like One Love that focus on not only educating young adults on managing healthy relationships and navigating dating apps that are a huge part of the hookup culture. They also empower these young adults with the tools and resources they need to see the signs of healthy and unhealthy relationships and bring life-saving prevention education to their communities. I hope we can all come together to make the societal norm take a positive and empowering direction. After all, it will continue to be a part of future generations' lives, so we can hope and guide them so that they can have a much better experience and education on the topic.